Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some more Against the Storm, shall we? Continuing our guide for complete beginners, and we're on a totally new mission, ready to have the wheels kind of opened up for us even more and play what resembles an actual game and not just a tutorial. So, first of all, they give us some reading for hubs and hearth level. And they're telling us two things right here. Number one, we can upgrade our hearth level by building homes and decorations like we did in the previous episode. And this gives you benefits, like I think at first level you get +2 global resolve, which is so nice. But also, they're telling you that it's useful to set up hubs in faraway glades so that your villagers don't have to walk all the way back to the town center just to deposit collected goods. Now, this is huge. So to create a hub, you have to build a warehouse and a hearth, because you can build a warehouse, and that's fantastic. But the problem is you need to have a hearth so that they don't have to walk all the way back to rest as well. As far as I understand it, the warehouses are connected. The storage is connected. So if you have a warehouse way out in the middle of nowhere, its storage is connected to your main storage, I think. Now, they might need to walk all the way over to get the goods, but I think that it's like that, but I'll verify that with science to make sure that that's how it is. But either way, what this will allow you to do is, like, people gather stuff, they fill up their, let's just say, woodcutter's camp. Instead of having to walk all the way back with each log, they can just dump it in the warehouse, and then instead of when they need to take a break or eat something, go all the way back to your main hearth, they can go to this other hearth, and this efficiency in your logistics will be extremely helpful. But in the previous tutorials, it wasn't that big of a deal because we weren't going so far away. But now, as you play the game, you're going to be sprawling out and exploring a whole bunch of the forest, so you're going to get really far away from your base, and this will speed you up. Now, they're also talking about consumption control. This is a new toggle that we have unlocked. I believe we unlocked this by spending our hot cross buns at the Smoldering City, and this allows us to now turn on and off different food that people can eat. So what you can do is say, okay, I want only this group of people to eat this complex food or whatever. You can toggle that on and off. Or if you need a complex food for an order or something and you don't want people to eat it, you can toggle it on and off. Now, it says here that villagers will get upset and suffer a resolve penalty if they are forbidden from consuming goods that are available in the warehouse. This penalty will be even higher if another species is allowed to consume said goods. So they don't like favoritism. And the penalties vary between different types of resources. So, you do this when the situation calls for it. Sometimes it's so dire that you have to, manage at that level. I usually don't mess with that, especially early game, but it's good to know that that's there. So the first thing I did when I played this as a new player was I immediately came down here and I picked all of my blueprints. You can see that the queen is giving us 3. So if I open this, we get to choose between 3 different blueprints 3 times. And I love this about the game. It's cool. It's like you're drafting. But you, and this is huge, do not have to do this right now. So you could see, I could get a leather worker, a brickyard, or a carpenter, and you could kind of think about what you want and what you like. But instead, what you should do is close this. It does not use it. You still have all 3. And then you hold B and you see, okay, I've got meat and I've got flax. And I've got farm fertile soil right here. You need to make your decision on what blueprints you accept based on what resources you have access to. And you can't even really know that thoroughly until you explore some glades. I think I heard someone in chat tell me that they were watching some other YouTuber or somebody talk about the game, and basically their advice was unlock 3 glades before you pick your blueprints. And I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb. And we're talking about small glades. So you see how right here there's like 4 small glades that we can access. And then down here, there's another one. I don't really want to do a dangerous glade just yet, although you can, depending on how comfortable you are with the game. I'm just going to do these small ones. What these will do is show us and give us a better feel for what resources are on this map. Now, true, when you're selecting the map, you could see overall what resources are available on this scenario, but you want to know what's available right now for you before you choose these, because if you pick something that you actually aren't going to end up using, it could be a waste. And if you miss the opportunity to select a building blueprint for something that would have really helped you, it's going to be sad. So instead of picking a blueprint, even though they're telling you there's an alert for this, what we're going to do is go to camps, and we're just going to drop in a woodcutter's camp. And I'm going to try to put this in the best place possible for, this is pretty good, right here. And that's one woodcutter's camp. Now I have 9 workers. One of them, the lizard, is, oh, they have a beaver on the hearth. I immediately want to change that. So you always want to change, or just see who did they put over here. And I'd like to put a lizard on this. The beaver is good for firewood, like, you know, fuel rate, but the lizard makes everybody happy. So we want that. And then we're building 1 camp. And then we have 10 homeless folk. So let's go ahead and select housing and build some shelters. Now, normally you can't just drop in shelters because you don't have wood. But remember, we took wood as an embarkation selection. So I can drop 4 houses just like that. And then if I want to get real fancy, I can put a path around here to just be amazing. And I'm going to unpause it. Now the paths are like a bold choice. Look at how tight this is. This is something you always have to look at. There's not much space right here. We are very, very tightly packed. So putting in the path might be wasteful because it consumes space. You can always demolish it if you don't like it. Okay, I'm waiting for them to finish it. All right, and they've done this. So now that they did this, I'm going to say cut here and cut here. And I am going to then put my beavers immediately on wood cutting, and I'm also going to put a person on that too. Another thing that's useful that I like to do is just poke around in what you have available. So if I click on camps, I've got woodcutter, stonecutter, harvester, small forager, small herbalist, and small trapper available. For farming, I only have the field. I don't have the farm, so don't bother with this until you get that farm. And then for housing, I just have shelter. For industry, I have crude workstation, makeshift post, mine, and rain collector. These are 2 new buildings for us. And then also for city buildings, I'm going to pause it just to kind of talk about this. I have a blight post. We don't need this right now. I have a hydrant. We don't need this right now because fire is not a deal. And I have a warehouse and a hearth already built. And then I could build a trading post, which we don't need at the moment. We could build. And then we have all of our decorations present. So I'm actually going to throw in the decorations right now. And you're like, why would you do that? That's such a bad idea. Well, maybe, but if you click on the hearth, we already have the right amount of people housed by it. So might as well just go ahead and, you know, collect the benefit of having higher resolve. So I'm going to put over here a park. Now, I can't get this because we don't have enough wood right now. We used it all to build houses, but that's okay. They'll get there. Now, also, you'll see that I have 6 unemployed. I could click on or mouse over the flax field and build a harvester's camp, or I could go over here and build a trapper's camp to get this meat. Now, that's a good idea. But instead, I'm going to actually build another woodcutter's hut. And I'm going to put it right... Oh, this is temporary. I'll put it right here. That's fine. And I'm going to tell them to cut that. Remember, woodcutters' camps only take parts. And you start with a good amount of parts. If I go into building materials, you see I have 16 parts. So I could put that in, and look, they built this already. They're building the park, and it's done. You see the hearth pulse, and now we're up to level 1. So now everybody gets +2 resolve, and you can see the resolve has boosted up for everybody. So we're already doing great on resolve. And, so I kind of, there's so many things to do when you start out, and so many things to explain, but I forgot to show you a few more things, and these will also help you make a decision on your blueprints. Number 1, we could choose a cornerstone. What do we want? For every 20 felled trees, global resolve is increased by 3 for 120 seconds. Very good. Or gain 1 lizard for every 25 eggs produced. Surprise Child is really interesting, but I don't know how many eggs are going to be available. Instead, I'm going to take Woodcutter's Song just because I like the idea of, getting if we get 3 resolve, then our lizards are actually going to pass the threshold and start giving us reputation passively. Okay, and now we need to assign some people to this, but also we need to push T and go to orders. So when you actually get into a map, and you want to do this early, I should have picked my cornerstone and looked at the orders earlier. There's just so many things to talk about that, I kind of let them go for a moment when I should have done this without unpausing the game, but it's okay. We'll be fine. This is the order screen now in a non-kind of gated tutorial. You see how we get to pick 3 orders, and you can open and pick all of these, and then in 10 minutes and 25 seconds, another couple of orders will open up, and then at 22:25, 3 more, and then you see the times that the other orders will open. So we're going to click 1 order, and then you get to pick. Again, you choose between 3. What can we do? Woodcutters. We build 2 camps, and we get 30 wood, and then we get this. We get 2 villagers, 3 parts, and 10 resin. That's amazing. However, we could also keep lizards above 10 resolve for 30 seconds, get 2 free lizards, get a bunch of meat and get some parts, also amazing, or we could make planks and get these returns. I'm actually going to take the middle one because you could see that the lizards are already at the proper resolve. So we'll get this completed immediately and get 2 free lizards, which we can then use. Why am I picking lizards right now? Because we have meat on the map. So we can get the meat and we can make jerky. But it's important to note that when I say make jerky, I mean, hopefully. We don't know if we're going to be able to turn meat into jerky. We need that building, but I still want lizards anyway, and this is a really easy one. So when you're choosing which order, what I like to do is choose ones that I think I can accomplish, number 1, but then you look at the rewards and you make a decision. Every time we get on this map, just about every time we get 1 reputation, we're going to get a blueprint unlock. So this is a blueprint unlock, plus it also lowers impatience. And I think this is fine. I like the idea of 3 parts and meat over resin. Resin is okay, but we're going to go with this. And then we get to open up another screen. Now what do we want? Okay. This one is collect 35 wood, and then we get 3 parts and 2 villagers. Very nice. This is deliver eggs. Well, I'm going to close this because we can go back to it. Just like the blueprints, we can go back to this. I'm going to close it. If I show you right here the slick shell broodmother, this does not give eggs. This gives as a secondary leather, 20% chance to get leather. This gives us clay and insects as secondary and tertiary resources, but not eggs. So I don't really see eggs yet, but I haven't uncovered any glades. So you could keep that back if you wanted, but let's just choose this. I like the idea of this one is cool because you just have to cut through to 3 glades. These are not retroactive. It's important to note that these are not retroactive, but we're about to cut through 3. So we could get this Scouts pack, get 10 bricks and 10 planks, which is actually really, really good. This is so tempting to take this, but I want more villagers. So I think the idea of just getting more workers is attractive, so I'll take wood delivery. It's easy for us to do. And then I'm going to pick another order from these lists. So this says, have at least 6 lizards. Well, remember, we only have 2 right now. We're going to get 2 from a quest. And if we get 6, then we get this better trapper's camp. We get these tanning racks to get extra leather, and we get some insects. So this is like go hard into lizards, which is fine. This one says sell goods and deliver amber. Oh, okay, so we do need to build a trading post in this scenario. For some reason, I was remembering that we build that later, but yeah, we could build that and make some money if we wanted. Or we could try to gather eggs, and then we get 2 people for this, and we get bigger ovens, and we get flour. This gives you tools, which tools are amazing. Wildfire essence as well. You need wildfire essence to build another hearth out in, the wilderness if you want to. I believe, though, that we start with some. Yeah, we start with 4, so you can already build. But it's nice to get it. So I'm going to push T again, open up orders. What do I want? I can't guarantee that I'm going to get 6 lizards immediately. I'm going to get 4, and then we know that we're going to get a couple of villagers as a reward, but we don't know which ones they will be. However, we are going to be uncovering glades. And if we do that, then we might very well find the lost camps that allow us to get new folk. This would let us get meat, insect, and eggs at 2-star. Okay, I'm going to take this one and just go in on lizards. And now we've selected all of our orders. You can toggle them on and off, I suppose, if you like, but we're going to keep it all on. That's great. And then now in the upper right, you can see these are our 3 different missions that we're doing. We already have the first one, but we need to wait 30 seconds to keep the resolve there. We have 8 out of the 35 wood delivered, and we need some more lizards. Okay, great. We're still not picking the blueprints until we see these glades uncovered. I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to just drop in some human laborers at the woodcutter's camp right there. And just let them do that. And I think it's a good idea. I'm going to go ahead and build a trapper's camp, a small one. We can demolish this if we don't like it later, but let's go ahead and just start getting meat because we're going to get lizards and we want to do this labor anyway. I'm going to rotate it so that the arrow is pointing out like that toward our warehouse. There we go. So you see the timer has started for this order called the clan. I'm just going to actually push 2 to speed it up, 3 to speed it up even faster. This does speed up this timer too. It's not real life time, it's game time. So if you speed up game time, then you're good, and we've done it. So you can see how impatience already almost ticked up 1, but now we just push orders and we can deliver this. We get 2 lizards right away. We get 30 meat. We get 3 parts. The queen's happy. We get another blueprint. Fantastic. Now, luckily, we had enough houses so that nobody is homeless, but I'm going to push shift on this. We need to start building another house to prepare. So I'll put another house down here like this. Okay, and then I'm going to hold Alt, and we're going to put 2 lizards to work at the camp because they have a synergy bonus, specialization bonus for collecting meat. And then there they go. I have 3 builders, so I'm going to need to probably get some labor for the rest of my crew. The only thing I can really do is gather this flax, which is fine. I can also, though, wait until we uncover a glade and have them take care of the events, which is probably what we'll do. The other thing, of course, that builders do is that they will transport the resources, I believe, from a filled workstation to an empty one. So I'm going to go ahead and build this once. Oh, but another kind of cool tip, I think I showed you this already, but if you're not sure what camp to build, just left click on the resource, and then you can get information about it and how many charges it has, and what you can get, primary, secondary, tertiary, and so on. But then you also could just click right here on the correct gathering facility, and we can put this in, and we want to rotate the doorway to kind of go toward the warehouse like that, and I'll build that. Sick. Crushing it. All right, and we finished wood delivery, so I'm going to push T, and we're going to deliver it. And we did it. We get another blueprint. So we have 5 blueprints waiting, which is amazing. And we got 2 more villagers. So this harvester's camp, if I hold Alt, it doesn't matter who works here, so I'll put a couple of people on it. Let it go. Okay. And we just have this order left. Now, they're taking a while. I could, if I wanted to speed it up, I could just turn this off for now and focus their fire on just one glade to cut into. But I'm not in a rush. I think this is fine. I do have 3 laborers doing nothing. Oh, you know what? Let's pause it. Did I get another beaver? I did. Okay, so we could put the beaver there. Because they're good at, chopping down trees. Look, the lizards are 15 resolve because in the lower left of the screen, you can see all of the buffs and debuffs you have. So we have the enchantment level 1, which is giving us +2 to resolve. We have gift of the woodlands, which trees give more wood. We have inspiring work, which means that we triggered this. And looks like it stacks. We have 125 seconds left of this and 3 resolve. The royal outpost gives us a pool of order choices increased by 1. I think usually they only let you choose between, I believe, 2 orders maybe, and we just get an extra one, so we're looking at 3, which is cool. And then the Sacred Pyre is giving us a resolve, and then the Woodcutter Song again. Oh, it stacks. Oh no, this is filling up for the second time. I see. It's telling us that it's working on it. Okay, we found a glade. And let's see, what's here? There's root deposits, there's moss broccoli, there's fertile soil, and then there's an abandoned cache. So I'm going to click on this abandoned cache, and we can break it open to get copper and insects, or we can send it back. Well, we'll break it open, and we will select this person and this lizard to do that, and they'll investigate it like that. Now, I'm going to actually push G and turn off cutting on this, and push F, and then tell them to go cut that instead. Now, I can hold this and see what resources are available. But I only have 1 free worker. It's not like I'm destitute. Everything is going great, actually. Okay, we unlocked a new one. And this just has clay. Okay, so we found clay over here. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And then I'm going to move this woodcutter's camp to here and cut into this glade. We found another one, and there's finally eggs. So there's some eggs, there's sea marrow, there's fertile soil, and then there's an abandoned cache. So we're going to click on the abandoned cache. If we break it open, we get a bunch of food, which is just fantastic. I'll take it. I'll put a human on break open. However, we don't have any stone. We can't do it. So never mind. I'm going to right-click. We're out of resources. They actually might not have any resources for this one either. They don't, which is why the resource icon is hovering over there. So instead, I'm going to cancel this. We're not going to do it. We're going to go back to that. Now, let me say, these caches in the smaller glades these never disappear, so you can always just come deal with these when you're ready. And we need to wait because I need to get clay. You can use clay to break open, but actually, oops, I can't because I chose stone right there. Now, over at this one, we can go over and, oh no, it's just training gear or sea marrow. Well, we can get sea marrow, but stone might be a little harder. What's the secondary? It's not stone. All right, so I just falsely assumed that we had stone because I always have it, but that was my fault. We do not have any stone, so we have to wait until we even get some to interact with this. Now, I'm going to have to cancel this and re-choose, and we're going to need to go probably with sea marrow because it's the only option. So what we need to do is get a stonecutter's camp and do that. Now, that being said, I'm ready. We have enough glades discovered. Let's go ahead and start taking these blueprints. So I'm going to go to blueprint. The first one is a brickyard, which allows us to make bricks. The leather worker helps us make water skins, fabric, and the carpenter helps us make planks at 2 stars. So what do we think we really want right here? I'm actually going to get a lot of leather because these provide leather. And then this provides meat. But if we complete this one order, we get leather. We get a bonus to leather every time. So we might end up with, you know, a good bit of leather. Actually, we only have one. It's not that exciting. So instead, I'm going to be more practical and just take carpenter. You always want planks, and being able to make tools is very good. So we're going to select carpenter. Okay. Now, here's the trapper's camp. However, you see how it's giving me this badge notification. It's saying this is a reward. So let's not pick this because we're going to get it for free as a reward. Instead, we want to pick between a plantation and a farm. Now, I think we should just take the small farm to get grain and vegetable. But we might want berries and fiber too. Actually, berries are so good for wine. We'll take a plantation. That's fine. We have 2 patches of fertile soil. Now, what do we want? Okay, we could go bakery. We could go provisioner. We could go cookhouse. Cookhouse is good. Bakery is good. But without flour, you're not going to be making biscuits very easily. So I think we take a provisioner so that we can make flour. All right. And then now we can get an herbalist camp to better pick herbs, berries, and mushrooms, or a weaver or a clothier. I'm going to go with the weaver so that we can have 3-star production of fabric. And we can make training gear. Okay. Well, I would have taken this earlier instead of what we did because it's 3-star planks, but we already have something that's 2-star planks. And then the rain mill is good, but we already took something to produce flour, so I think we go back here and take this to get coats. All right, so we've now used all of our blueprints. So that's very good. And at this point, then, it's time to go to camps. And we're going to build a stonecutter's camp to collect... we have a bunch of clay, which is great, but it's not going to help us open these caches. So what we need is this. So I'm going to build it right there. Okay, and now that this glade is discovered, I'm going to actually turn off this, and we can move this woodcutter, you know, I'm going to move it temporarily up here. If you move it again, the fertile soil underneath is still there. It does not destroy it by placing that. Okay, tremendous. So now they built this. So this is the stonecutter's camp, and we're going to gather the sea marrow. Now, I have people ready to go to collect stone. I'm going to put them on the job. Or sea marrow, rather. So they're getting it right now. So what we could do is just change this to sea marrow. And then we don't have any yet, but we will. Oh, we got another glade. And what do we got over here? It's flax. Okay, fine. Okay. And now, I will kind of push G, turn this off, and we're going to move the woodcutter's camp up to here, and then cut into this glade. I'm not doing any dangerous glades yet. You certainly can. We'll get to them in a moment. I like to just do all the small glades, unless I'm up against the Queen's Impatience, and I need to get a little bit more risk-reward and lean into the risk. Right now we're doing fine. We'll see about this. I'm trying to find some villagers in an encampment. We haven't done it yet, but we did find some more meat and some berries, which is good. So then I'm going to pick up this woodcutting camp and put it over here, and we're going to cut into both of these glades like so. I'm going to push G to turn all that off. Okay, it's storming. Now, they do give us the option here to unassign all of our woodcutters. So what we can do is left mouse button to unassign the woodcutters. You see how everybody's resolve is going down? If I click this button, okay, and then I unpause it, what happens is the hostility of the forest will reduce. It's so low that we probably don't need to do this, but you see that there's a multiplier of the hostility based on how many woodcutters you have active. So it also increases for the year, how many small glades you've uncovered, how many dangerous ones, how many villagers you have. Hearths reduce it, and the Queen's Impatience also will affect it, but in this case it's so low that we actually get a benefit from it. So I don't need to do what I just did because I'm not worried about the anger of the forest. So I'm going to actually right click on this button and it will assign the woodcutters back. But you see how this red bar is climbing? That is because for every woodcutter I put out there, the forest gets angrier because now I'm over the limit. So if I put 1, I go to 16 hate. It's just something to think about. Alright. And we don't really need to worry too much about it now, but it is something we will have to concern ourselves with. So what I like to do in this storm is just give people other jobs. Like, so we know we're going to need to build another house, at least one. So I'm going to get that placed in. I don't need to build another herbalist camp or another trapper camp because once these resources are depleted, I'll just move them to the resources that we found. Awesome. All right, so at this point, we're just waiting. We have, another 47 seconds till the storm ends, and the woodcutters camps are sad because nobody's working there, but I like to just take a break during the storm if I'm worried about the hate of the forest to make life easier, and you don't really need to worry about it this early in the game, but it's a nice best practice to concern yourself with. And then once it stops storming, you just right click to put all the people back to work. You can make sure which laborers go there, or you could just alt and just drop them in or whatever, but I think this is good. So we're 2 minutes and 47 seconds away for some more orders. We're close to trying to complete this order. We're fine on impatience, we're building up reputation, and we're increasing our fuel, our crafting resources, and our food, so I think we're doing great. Everyone, I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. Thank you so much for watching. I'll check you in the next one. Take care.